Crafty peeps, welcome to my third April 2018 Craftology box tutorial. We're going to be using the collection by Simple Stories called Bliss. And this is not actually that collection. I wanted to pre-make so that I could show you what we're going to make before we actually make it. This is actually using a Bo Bunny paper that is no longer available, but if you want to get the Craftology box and do this tutorial, you would visit Tamara's store at Country Craft Creations, and that web address is www.countrycraftcreations.com. So definitely go to her store and check it out. You will find everything that you could possibly need to make this mini album. Or, well, it's not actually a mini album. I'm going to call it like a photo folio or photo box, something like that. Anyway, you'll see in just a second. So this right here is from Prima. So, but there are plenty of different types of knobs that you can use. You could do magnets instead of the knob. I just thought that this was kind of a cute way of displaying this. So I just wrapped it around here, and you would open it up like so. Okay, I just wanted to show you the side and the back, and then of course we have another side. So it is actually all enclosed. There are going to be some changes that I am making to this, and you will see it as we do the tutorial, okay? So when you first open it, I have like a little shaker frame right here. This again was part of a Bo Bunny collection. And I made like a little photo box holder right here. Okay, so right here, this holds 52 cards or photos. Okay, what the cards hold 2 photos each. Okay, and I allow some journaling down at the bottom if you want to. Or you could cut down a 5x7. Okay, but remember, you are going to be losing some of that image if you decide to cut that down. So anyway, I think this turned out super cute. You could probably double this up. You could possibly even fit 100. Since I have not added the photos in here yet, I am not sure how many more it will hold. But eventually we'll figure that out. I would say you could probably do at least 75, okay? And then we have a little mini waterfall right here. Okay, and this holds 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11 photos, okay? Right down here. So it's super adorable. I just love this little water with the sun there. I don't know if you can really tell. Love these little starfish. So stinking cute. Love this water waves. And I love the mermaid scale right there. That's so cute. Anyway, so that's what we've got so far. We are going to be adding on a another row of another waterfall. Okay, so let me explain to you. Hold on one second. Let me just tie this up real quick before I get totally distracted. Okay, so this is actually going to be moved over here, and this is going to be moved over here. Okay, and also we are going to have a pocket here, and we're going to have a waterfall where you can fit your small little what is it, the mini instax? I don't even know. Instatax? I don't even know. Anyway, photos. So kind of like your mini Polaroids, okay? And that's it. I just wanted to show you that real quick, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me just get this out of the way real fast. All right. We're going to start off with the measurements for our chipboard for the outside, which is basically the frame of your cover, okay? So you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard, and I'm using a very thin chipboard, so you could use cereal box if you want to. This is 5 by 8, so 5 by 8, 2 of those. Then you will need 2 at 2 inches by 8 inches. Okay, you'll need, again, 2 of those, 2 by 8. Then you will need 1 at 3.5 by 8. Now I'm going to give you the measurements for your little box that's going to hold your photos on the inside, okay? You're going to need 2 at 4 inches by 4 3/4. 2 at 4 by 4 3/4. Okay. And then you're going to need 2 at 1 inch by 4 inches. 2 at 1 inch by 4 inch. And 1 at 1 inch by 4 3/4. Okay, so this will have your front, back, side, side, and bottom. Okay. All right, I'll be back in just a second. We're going to start making our cover. Okay, and I will give you those measurements as well. Okay, you will need 2 sheets of 12 by 10, so I cut off 2 inches off the sides of 2 of them, of linen cardstock from Tamara's store, and I don't suggest any other kind of linen cardstock but hers. So, but you can definitely try or just use regular paper to wrap, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my score tape, and I'm going to marry these 2 pieces together. So I'm going to, if I had 1/4 inch, I'd use 1/4 inch, but since I don't, I'm just going to use 2 little thin strips of my 1/8 inch, okay? I'm just going to line them right up together. And then I'm going to burnish them in. And I always use glue as well. So I'm going to get out my art glitter glue. And I'm just going to put it right on top of that tape. And then I'm going to marry these together. Okay. And I always like to use this edge right here to keep it straight. Okay. And then burnish it in, and if you have any glue coming off there, which I have a little bit, just wipe that up. Burnish it in really good. Okay. So at this point, I am going to put this on my scoreboard. You do not have to do this. I just like to do it. I'm going to have my little inch here. I'm going to score it at 1 inch. And then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to score at 1 inch. And this is to give me my base. Okay, I'm not even going into that where I doubled up there because I don't want to make a mistake here. I'm just using it as a guide. So my first piece is going to be my 5 by 8. Okay, and I'm just going to line that right up along my score lines, right on the inside of those. And I'm going to use my glue. And I'm going to make sure I use quite a bit of it. Okay, I don't want to have any gaps where there is air pockets. Oops. I really prefer using score sheets from Tamara's store, but I am out of those, so I'm just going to use glue. So it can be done with glue, but just remember the score sheets are better. Again, I'm going to line this up to make sure it's straight. And right on the inside of my score lines, I'm going to lay this here. And quickly, I'm going to flip this over and burnish it in. Okay. Oops, I'm a little bit off, I can tell. And that's okay, because this linen paper can handle it. Let me straighten this out, guys. Just one more time. Good grief, I'm having difficulties today. I think the best thing for me to do here at this point is to fold my edge a little bit so that I can see it better. Alright, here we go again. Now I don't have as many problems seeing. I don't know what my issue is today. Okay. That's better. Let me burnish that in really well. Okay. I'm going to keep this out because I'm going to use this as my divider. My next piece is going to be my 2x8. Okay, so I'm just going to, again, line this up and use this as my in-between space. Again, burnish it in quickly. Okay, our next piece is going to be our 5x8. Ah, my goodness, what is my problem today? Alrighty then. Okay. You really have to work quickly. This glue dries fast. All right. Again, I'm going to have that gap. It's about 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to push that up on there. And again, burnish quickly. And again, we're going to do our 2x8. And hold on, I'm going to add some more glue. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to put our second 2x8 on here. Again, I'm going to use this as my divider. Oh, that's gotta. There we go. Burnish it in quickly. Okay, final piece is going to be our 3.5 by 8, and again we're going to do that 1/8 inch gap. And we burnish that in. Okay, so there's a couple things that I can do here. I'm going to get out my cutting board and I'm going to cut off a little bit of this excess right here. And how I do this, I'm going to let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So if you can see this, I'm going to give this, I'm going to bring this little edge to the 2 inch, okay? And then I know that I will have, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, the 1 inch. That's about right. I mean, you know, just kind of guesstimate. If you go a little bit over, you're okay. You just at least want to have a 1 inch space here. And then I'm going to save this because I might use this for my little selfie things. For my selfie waterfall, or not really selfie, whatever you want to call it, Polaroid. Alrighty then. So now I'm going to get all my little edges ready here. I'm going to start lifting them up and folding them over so that once I actually do this, it's going to work. It's going to go pretty easy. And always the scored ones are the easiest, but okay. Now for me, I like using my little perfect trim ruler to measure where I'm going to cut my ends here, but this is completely up to you. And you can actually get this from perfecttrimruler.com. And then I'm going to use my scissors and trim all of those. Okay, so at this point, let me go back out one more. Let me scoot this so you can get it all in screen. Okay, I'm going to move my scoreboard out of the way. And now I'm just going to glue everything. You can use score tape or whatever adhesive you want to use. I always start off with the larger edges. Just make sure you get glue along your edges here. Okay? And if you want to go a little crazy and do a little bit up here, that's okay. And then just burnish it in. And we'll come back out and wipe up all the excess in a second. Okay, now I'm going to burnish it in really good. Okay, I'm going to gently lift this up on each of these folds and kind of squish this in there. Okay, do it gently though. Okay. Okay. Also, if you're using the perfect trim ruler, you're going to want to push in and flatten your little extra, I call it skin, your paper here. I'm going to push that in. Okay. I'm going to come along on this side, and again, I'm going to glue along my edge. Okay. And as I'm pushing this up, I'm doing it pretty hard too. And I can do that with linen paper, okay? I'm also burnishing it in really well too. Okay, and remove that glue. Okay, now we're going to come, whoops, got some dirt. Okay, again, I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to smooth it and push it in. Smooth it, push it in. Smooth it, push it in. I'm just making sure that there's no bubbles or bumps before I push it in. Again, we're going to do our little edges here. And having a little bit of glue there does help kind of massage it in there and keep getting it a little bit wet, okay? Again, we're going to do this final corner here. Make sure you get up to that edge. Okay. Okay, now burnish it. And if you have a little gap and you don't have enough glue here, go ahead and add it in now before it's too late. Okay? Probably the best thing to do is go over all your edges first. That way you don't forget. Okay, same thing we were doing a second ago. Okay, see I'm pushing out that extra glue. And then I'm going to come in here and burnish it in really good. Flattening out my little edges here. Okay, more glue's coming out. So now, this looks pretty sealed in here, okay? Now you can start working these as well, a little bit. Don't go too crazy. All right. And I am going to add a little more glue in there. Okay, that looks okay, perfect. Okay, so here is for our third stage, which is covering this with paper. And I actually wrote down the measurement. What? It's a miracle. Okay, that is going to be one sheet. So you can use two 8 by 11 sheets. You're going to cut down one to 7 7/8 by 11 inches, and then one at 7 7/8 by 7 inches. So we'll be back in just a second. So let me get that for you. Okay, so again, we're going to marry these two pieces together. I already added my score tape. Just going to burnish that in and take it off. Okay. I'm going to line these up to make sure they are even. And whoops. Whoa, guys. Okay, that looks good. I can burnish it in. All right. Oops, I forgot to cut this one down 7 inches. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to measure this. Just going to give it the right amount of space I need. Okay. And I always like to line mine up along one of these lines so that I know that I'm cutting straight. Okay, that should be good. So now at this point, you're going to want to use your score tape, score sheets, whatever you want to use, and your adhesive, and you're going to put this right on top of here. Okay, I like to do mine section by section. And let me see, I don't want that to go right in the middle. Hold on, let me move this over here. You do not want your crack in the middle of a crack, okay? So you definitely don't want that. So this is perfect. All right, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my score tape. I'm just going to get around these edges, okay? And then the rest I'm going to use glue. Like I said, I prefer the score tape sheets that Tamara sells, but I'm out, so I'm going to have to deal with this, which is a bigger pain in the booty to use glue than those score sheets. Just being honest. Okay, I'm going to burnish these in, and then I will start removing these, the backing. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to start really using a whole lot of glue. Okay, and I'm going to do section by section because it is easier for me to do it that way. If you don't use the score tape, the problem is that with the glue you will get gaps, and you really don't want that when you're doing your covers, okay? Because then you'll get air bubbles. Okay, so with my left hand, I'm going to go ahead and burnish this in the best that I can just for now. And I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to start going crazy with my glue. Okay, I've got to work quickly because it's going to start drying, and that's why I like to do this in but I'm going to keep going. Okay, see that already dried up in there? So I got to quickly add more glue. Okay. I went a little bit crooked. I hate it when that happens. I don't know if I cut it crooked or it went crooked, but I'm just going to trim that off. It's the first time I've done that in a while. Okay, and if you have any rough edges like this, you can grab a nail file, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to file this down a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my whole thing put together, and let me show you where I did my little mistake here. One thing I want to mention is if your paper is white, use a white file, okay, if you accidentally go over, because I haven't made an error on the white paper, and never used a purple. I just shouldn't have done that. I used a purple file. Anyway, that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to ink my edges. And I'm actually thinking about inking my edges with a black. to kind of go in with this. I'm not really sure yet. I might even do, ooh, this would be really pretty as sea glass. So let me do that real quick and then I'll be back. So basically I'm going to do all of my edges inside and out, including these, okay? I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back again. So remember last time my little 3.5-inch edge was on this side of the book, so it was on the right hand side. I'm going to flip this around and now it's going to be on this side, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our ruler, and I'm actually going to have to turn this upside down, okay? Because this is where I want my little holes. We're going to do something a little bit different to keep those cards in place. I'm going to take my ruler, and you're going to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3 solid black lines down, okay? So that's going to be right here, just right under this. I'll give you that exact measurement in a second, but I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line. It should be 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to draw it right along this 5-inch piece, okay? And then it's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to my little edge here and I'm going to make a mark. Oops, not down there. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going to make a little mark. At 1 inch, okay? And then from my 5-inch, here's my 5-inch right here, I'm going to go back and make a mark at my 4-inch, okay? Then I'm going to grab my We Are Memories Keeper punch, and I'm going to use a smaller punch, and I'm going to put a hole in there, okay? And don't worry, I know we're still going to be covering it with paper. That is okay. I just need to know ahead of time where my holes are. And it's just easier to do that in advance. Sorry, I'm trying to push out that piece. Okay. So now I'm just going to line this up. And if you want to erase these now, you can, but you really don't need to because you're going to cover this up with paper anyway. Okay. So now we're going to paper the inside of this and the outside. And so basically you're just going to use the same measurements that I gave you previously for your outside cover. And you're going to go in by, it's up to you, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and I'm going to do probably 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to use my Prima Distressor to kind of give this more of a shabby chic look. What I'm going to do is, let me see, because we have to think about, are we going to use magnets? If you're going to use magnets, you want to go ahead and use your magnets now. Okay, I am not going to use magnets because I am going to use this as a selfie waterfall. Okay, so I'm going to use some I know she gave me ribbons. What did I do with them? Okay, guys, forgive me because sometimes I'm a little cray-cray. And since I cannot figure out where I put my seam binding, I'm just going to use some colors that I have already. Okay. And I kind of like this Robin Eggs blue. Uh-oh, I might not have enough of that one. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. And let me see what other color. I know she sent me some. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm losing my mind here. I'll use some pink. I think I have some from a previous Craftology box. Let's see, I think if I have lavender, I might use lavender if I can find it. If not, I'll use a green. I might use this green mint color. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Oh, it's more like a sage, I guess. And you can decide on what kind of closure you want to use. Are you going to use like a double tie? Or are you going to do like a wrap around like I did? I have to see if I have enough of both colors to do, of these three colors to do that. So let me just get a guesstimation here. Yeah, see, I don't have enough of the green one. I have enough of the blue and pink. So I may have to rethink that. But anyway, let me think this out and then I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can tell by my dyed fingers, I decided to dye these. In fact, this is like a very light purple, but you can barely even tell on the camera. Anyway, so this is 8 inches long, so we want to get our center. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 1 inch in and at 4 inches, and that's my center. Okay, and for me, I'm going to just take my little edges here and glue them down. Okay. Oops. Trim that off there. Gonna layer on my next color. And then my final color here. You trim off a little bit of that because I want it to lie flat. So I'm gonna have to make sure that all this is glued down and kind of burnished in pretty well. Okay. And I just need to make sure that these are glued down to here all the way at the end as well, okay? So one more time. Okay, just burnish that in a little bit, and just for safe measures, I'm going to add a little bit of tape, and that also helps flatten it out. Okay. All right, so at this point, I'm going to add my knob. And I think I'm going to add my knob on this side this time. And I'm just going to make the holes. Well, actually, let me go ahead and I can cover this now on the outside. Okay, do not cover your inside yet. Only the outside if you are doing the knob. Okay, and let me get the outside covered and I'll be back. Okay, so right now I have my front of my album covered. So basically I have not done the inside yet. But what I wanted to make note of is that I went ahead and added my holes in again, okay? And at this point, I can go ahead and start papering the inside of this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, one thing I did want to mention, on your strips that are your 2-inch by 8-inch right here, and your paper is going to be 1 7/8 by 7 7/8. don't add those on yet. I forgot that we want to make those pockets. So you can go ahead and add on, this one is 3.5. So it would be 3 3/8 by 7 7/8. So let me get back with you in a minute. Okay, so I added on my eyelets and I thought this rose gold or slash copper color was really pretty. I just got a little box of miniature ones from, I think it was Hobby Lobby, I'm sure. Okay, so for my pockets, I didn't actually glue this all the way on because I like to glue mine behind. So I'm going to show you in a second. For the pocket, you're going to need 2 of them, excuse me. 3 inches by 3 inches. You're going to, on 3-inch size, score it 1/2 inch, and then at 2.5. And you're going to turn it counterclockwise 1 time, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch. Okay, so it's like a perfect square of 3 by 3. Okay, and then we can cut off our little. Where'd my little scissors go? How strange is that? Oops, they fell. Okay. Sorry, let me scoot this up a little bit here. I'm just going to trim off my corners. Okay, and then right along here, I'm going to make a little angle right there at that score line. Okay, and then we're going to fold on our score lines. Okay. And then I'm just going to slide this on here. Yep, and it fits perfect. Let's scoot over just a tad. Oops. I'm just adding a little bit of glue to secure it into place. Okay, sorry, I had a little pin in my mouth. Okay. Just gonna burnish it in for a second. Okay. Sorry. It's probably easier to do this without it being glued on, but I don't know, I'm weird sometimes. Okay. Now I can burnish this in. And now I have a cute little pocket. And I'm just going to take some of my scrap paper here. Let me see what I have. No, I'm not going to do the stripes. So let me see what measurement we need here. So it's going to be 2 and, let's see, a little under 2.5. So 2 3/8 by, should be 1 7. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's do 1 7/8. And then if we need to trim down a 1/16 of an inch, we will. So let me do that real quick. And I said this was, I forgot, okay, 2 3/8. So you'll need 2 of those. And yes, I think we need to trim off another 1/16 of an inch. Let me just check out on my bottom part. Nope, bottom part is good. Okay. So you'll need 2 of those, and then I'll just continue on adding the rest of the papers and the second pocket over here. Okay, so before I decide to add in this final sheet, I want to go ahead and attach my knob. And so what I want to do is see where I want to put the knob. So I'm going to wrap this around and it's nice and tight. And so I know that I want it approximately about here. So I'm going to make a pencil mark right there. I'm going to push this up and make another pencil mark right there. Now this is kind of tricky because I don't have a very big, I don't know what you want to call it, but we are memory keepers, hole punch. I don't have the large one, so I'm going to have to do this manually by hand. And so I'm going to get a awl or a pokey stick is my other word for it. I'm going to see if I can find one. Hold on one second. Okay, I found one and I'm just going to find my little holes and I'm just going to punch it on through there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to punch down. There we go. Till I hear it and then lift it and push it through. So now what I'm going to do is find some matching brads. Okay. I'm going to see what I can find. These look fairly decent here. Let's see what we've got. I'm thinking these black ones will be the closest to what I'm needing. Let me just see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go with that. Okay. Where did you go? Oops. Okay. I'm going to hold that into place with my fingers. And then flatten them out. And I like to make sure that they're pretty flat. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue underneath there, under these tabs, or prongs to the tab. Okay. And now I can go ahead and cut my last piece of paper and glue that one on there, and then we'll be back working on our small little box. Okay, so basically I took, this is going to be for the inside cover of our box. So I took a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, 2 of them, and I cut it down to 5 3/4 by 11 inches. And then I glued these 2 together, okay? And we will be taking the extra off. But in the meantime, on your long piece, okay, you're going to score it at 1 inch, and then you're going to turn it counterclockwise 1 time, and you're going to score it at 1 inch. Flip it over, and then score it at another inch, okay? And that will give you your, kind of like your starting pieces. Okay, so we're going to take our first one. I gave these measurements earlier. Your first sheet cardboard at 1 by 4. And we're going to glue that on there or use score tape, however you want to attach that. Okay, right there inside the score line. And it might be a bit snug, but that's okay. We're just using this to keep it straight, okay? Then I'm going to use my, here it is, perfect trim ruler. And I'm going to use this in between here. And I'm going to put in my piece that is 4 3/4 by 4 inches. Okay, let me go ahead and add the glue on there. There we go. I'm going to finish that in. And then I'm just going to keep on going with my 1 by 4. Okay, burnish that in. And then this one. Oops. There we go. I'm going to line this up on my scoreboard. At about 1.5 inches. So this little brown piece chipboard is going to measure up to this 1.5 inches. And I'm going to cut. Okay. Then for our bottom piece, I'm going to add this, which is actually going to be up at the top, but it will be the bottom piece. Okay. Just going to put that right here. Okay. Burnish that in. Fold that over. Okay. And you know what? I'm actually going to take off 1/2 inch. Here we go. Oops. I'm going to fold this over here. I'm going to take off this little corner right there. I'm going to do the same down here, and actually on all these little corners right here. This one, I can trim that up. Right there on those core lines. Okay. So on this one, go ahead and, oh, my glue is leaking. Glue that down. And you're going to glue this as well. And remember how, just like we're doing an album cover, you're going to go ahead and bend it in on those areas right there where it bends. And then we're going to make a little snip here, here, and then right in the center there, okay? And you can go ahead and fold that over. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it like so and glue it down. Okay. I want to make sure that's even. And I actually kind of boo-booed, guys. I really need you to glue this piece onto here. But you know what? It's okay. I'm going to make this work for myself. But just for y'all, no, in fact, I might be able to, nah, nope, probably isn't going to work. There we go. I may have to add on another strip, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. I'm just going to glue these tabs. I'm going to take a little sliver off there. Okay. And we're going to glue right here. And then for me, I'm going to have to do another strip here, but you would not have to do that. So I will be right back. And it's up to you if you want to paper the inside of this. I'm going to be using some scrap papers to do that. And of course, it'll just be around 1/8 of an inch shorter than each side. And I'll be back. Okay, now for this part, we're going to attach our box down to the bottom of the center of our thing. And of course, I didn't paper my back because I don't need to, because that's going to be glued down. But I did paper on the inside. And I'm just using plenty of glue so that there's no gaps. Now we'll just wipe up any excess that comes out. Just going to line it up to the bottom line of my paper. And my box, or my album, actually guides me to where it needs to be centered to. So when I close it like this, I can see that it's in the right spot, okay? I'm just going to burnish it down and keep on picking up any excess glue. Okay, so now it's looking super cute. Okay, see if I'm gonna, okay. Okay, so now we can start working on our waterfalls and also our cards that will go in here. So let me give you those first, and then I'll give you those measurements for the cards. Let me grab my other ones out of this box. Okay, you will need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Looks like I've got 17 of these, but maybe I think there was 18. I just didn't finish the 18. So 18, and you can add more if you want to. You'll probably add about 10 more. So 28 at 4 3/8 by 7 1/2. Okay, 4 3/8 by 7 1/2. And let me just make sure that these fit in here. Oh, nicely. Okay. And then the other thing I was thinking, and this would depend on how many you have. So I'm going to use some bungee cord that I got from Joann's. Okay. And I'm just going to tie it a little bit loose. I don't want it too tight and I don't want it too loose on here. And I'm sorry about all the glue on my fingers. But I'm just going to tie this in a knot. And I'm going to leave plenty of length here because I may need to add more photos, okay? So basically this is going to hold these in place. Okay, and right now I can probably tie it a little bit tighter than what I've got it because I don't have all my cards in here. And if you want to make your holes lower, you could do that too. That's going to be completely up to you and how you want to do it. But right now I'm kind of like liking how this looks. This is just so they do not slide out, okay? Because before they were just kind of like falling out of my other one. And I think that they really need to be in there more securely. So that's looking super cute. Let me go ahead and make some of my cards and then we'll work on our waterfalls. Okay, for my waterfall, I'm going to have a sheet of, I used a lavender color cardstock, and this is going to be the base of my waterfall. It's going to be 4 5/8, 7 inches. So we're going to come back over here. And this will actually cover over my beautiful butterflies, but I feel like I want my waterfall to be really straight, and this is how I get my waterfalls really straight. And then that should be about right. Okay, so we're going to need you're going to need, let me see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets of paper at 4 5/8 by 5 1/8, and you're going to score it a 1/2 inch. Okay, and then you're going to start off your waterfall. I'm going to start off at the very top. Okay, and you're just going to start gluing these on here one after the other. So let me show you real quick. Let me get one that's a little bit straighter. So I'm just going to line it right up at the top. Then we're going to keep going down. If you want to use magnets, you can use magnets. I'm not going to. I'm going to use some ribbon behind here. I'm just going to put these on one right after the other. And I always make sure that they're pretty straight. And then you can burnish it in once you've got it on there straight. And just keep going down, and then I'll be back. Okay, so my waterfall is looking really good. I just want to glue the seam binding ribbon in here, and I've got it in the place that I want it. Well, I did have the place I wanted at. I didn't realize that twisted like that. Ugh. Okay, let's do this one more time. So I know I'm going to make a little line right here. You just want to make sure that you have enough space to tie your bow, okay? So that's why I just kind of glue it behind there and don't even worry about it after that. Okay, for our mats, okay, since this is 4 5/8, it's going to be 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Okay, so you'll need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, 13. All right, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So far, I've already got my little waterfall right here that will hold our photos. These are 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Actually, a little bit bigger than that, but the actual frame that you're going to put your picture on top of is 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Okay, so now we're going to start working on our little, what do you want to call it? Instax? I don't know. Instax, whatever things, like your little Polaroids. Okay, your mini Polaroids. So let's get started on that. You're going to need 6 sheets of paper, and I'm using the lilac again. It's going to be 2.5 by 4.5. And then on the 4.5-inch side, you're going to score it 4 inches, or basically a 1/2 inch, okay? So we're just going to do that with all of those. Okay. And let me do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, once you have all of those folded, you're going to need another sheet of paper that's 2.5 by 7 inches. I'm going to go ahead and mark this. Okay, and let me just trim it up. Let me shine my light down there. There we go. That is okay. Okay, and I'm going to save this for later. Okay, so now I can go ahead and start attaching these, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did on my last one and start by attaching it at the top. And again, I'm probably going to use seam binding ribbon to be my closure for this instead of magnets. And I'm just going to continue on till I get to the bottom, and then I will be back. Okay, your mats for your waterfalls. For the front, which is going to be your decorative paper, and these are going to be the same size, so you're really going to need 12, but 6 of each. So 6 of your solid colored cardstock and 6 of your patterned. It is going to be 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. So 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these, and then I will add my twine or ribbon to the back, and then I'll just glue it on right here. And then last thing we're going to be working on will be our mats for here, and then of course our pockets. Okay. Okay, so we're trickling down to the very last part of our tutorial, and let me show you what we've got here so far. I think it's looking really cute, and I really like how it turned out. So I have 3 little tags here, one here, and then I put 2 over here, and these are actually the same size tags. I just kind of stacked one on top of the other so it will fit in there. Of course, we have our little mini Polaroid photos that you can put here. And then, of course, you can put your 4x6 photos here. So let me give you this measurement real quick. Oh, and I just added some charm on a little dangly thing. And to cover up my little knot, I trimmed it, and then I tied a little piece of seam binding ribbon in there to hide that. So if you want to do that, you may do that. I don't know. You might come up with something better than me. So anyway, let me give you the measurement of the actual cardstock. Is going to be 7.5 by 4 3/8. And then for the centerpiece, I used my 4x6 cutouts. And then also, these are a little bit larger than these. These are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, I believe. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure. Yep. 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I think I even took off an extra 1/16 of an inch off the one side so that it fit on here a little bit better. Because let me show you the ones where I didn't. And to me, it seemed a little tight. Let me see if I can find that. Somehow I got some of these in here upside down. That's weird. I guess most of them I did. Oh, here we go. So this is where I didn't take off that extra 1/16 of an inch. And as you can see, you have less edging here. So I started cutting off a 1/16 of an inch. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on here or to message me at Blackbird Farms Boutique at gmail.com. Okay. And I'll put that information at the end of the video. Again, here is the final little product. And I can't wait to see yours. So please be sure to share it on our group, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, or my Facebook group called Paper Snobs. So anyway, until next time, guys. Bye, y'all. Mwah!